wrote this like horrendous breakup song when I was in third grade. Like,
Dang.
yeah, it was called "Why Did You Do This to Me?" And my parents are like, "Dude, are you good? You're 8,
Yeah, right.
whatever." Like, um,
How are you, brother?
good. How are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, man. Thanks for having me. Excited for it.
Awesome, dude. Well, I'm Adam, and this is about you and your journey in music, and we'll talk about the new stuff you have coming out.
Perfect. Sounds great to me.
Cool, man. Well, I always kind of start off with your origin story. You're from what, Georgia area, Appalachian Hill foothills, like the
Yeah,
mountains.
yeah. I'm from Rome, Georgia.
Rome, Georgia. Okay, what was it like growing up there?
And I didn't appreciate it as much as I do now, I feel like. But definitely smaller, smaller town. When I was younger, there was like maybe 20,000 people that lived here.
Dang.
Now there's like 60 or 70. It's like grown exponentially.
Wow. Yeah, that's huge.
But a lot of skipping school, a lot of doing things we shouldn't do. Rome has 3 rivers, and so a lot of floating down the river, things like that. So, but yeah, man, it was a cool place to grow up in. I played soccer my entire life, so a lot of soccer,
Oh, really?
definitely growing up.
When did
Yeah.
you do that through like college and everything, or no?
I mean, I
High
guess if
school?
if if you want to count my 4-time intramural champion as
We'll count it.
yeah, we'll count it, right? But no, man, I started playing when I was like 2, and I still go and kick around a lot. It's definitely a good stress reliever, but it's definitely something I love.
That's awesome. And you're in Nashville now?
I am, yeah, I moved up there last August.
Oh, cool. I'm south of Nashville. So
Oh, sweet.
yeah,
Okay,
I love
yeah.
it here. I moved from San Diego and 21. It was the best decision I ever made.
Oh, I love San Diego.
It's cool, but it's not as cool as Nashville.
It's the weather is a lot cooler. The weather is a lot
Yeah, yeah. That's true. That is true. We don't get those crazy storms. I was telling Nikki earlier. We had all those like tornadoes and that noise
crazy.
going on like last week. But cool, man. Well, so how did you get into music? Do you come from a musical family, a creative household, anything like that?
Yeah, so my dad picked up guitar when I was 7, and then about a year later, I picked it up, wanted to be cool like dad, so I started playing guitar when I was 8.
Wow,
I picked up piano, I played saxophone for a bunch of years and bunch of other instruments, and just loved it, man. And then my granddad was a poet, and so kind of took the like, instruments and writing and kind of put them together and got to play music and writing songs. So definitely something that runs in the family for sure.
amazing. You said you were 7 when your dad decided to pick up guitar. What he just felt like?
Yeah.
Why? That's awesome
He
that he did that. But why would he like years later be like, I want to learn how to play guitar?
he was doing a lot of stuff through church, and
Okay.
he would always have these like speakers playing, and he was like, live music is better than music on a speaker, and so he was like, I'll just learn guitar and I'll do the music, and so he literally just picked it up so he could be the live music for it. So
No way. Oh, so you could have like a
yeah,
worship band at the
yeah, yeah,
church. That's so
yeah.
rad. Did you ever
So
join it? Did you ever play in that band? Did you do that at church
Um,
as well?
I didn't. At that point, I wasn't that great, and so I never played with him per se. But I like once I actually was decent enough to play in front of people. The church we went to, I like played in like the youth band and did things like that. And in college, played with some of the like college ministries and things like that. So
Oh,
definitely,
cool.
definitely was like the foundation of everything for sure.
Rad. Yeah, I was reading too. You said your grandpa was a poet. He gave you what, like a journal or something when you were really young, around that same time,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. Around when I was 8, and yeah, I just kind of put 2 and 2 together and started, wrote this like horrendous breakup song when I was in third grade. Like,
Dang.
yeah, it was called "Why Did You Do This to Me?" And my parents are like, "Dude, are you good? You're 8,
Yeah, right.
whatever." Like, so yeah, that kind of launched the career, I guess. So I'm 26 now. I've been writing and playing for 18 years. Wouldn't trade it for the world, man.
That's amazing. So, I mean, you wrote that song. That's so funny. A breakup song from third grade. But do you start a band, or are you doing like a singer songwriter thing like through middle school or high school or anything like that?
it was just pretty much me and the guitar. I just wrote a lot and didn't really my buddies always used to give me so much shit for it, man. I got made fun of so much
Oh,
for
really?
playing oh, yeah. I mean, I asked for it a little bit. One time I posted, like, this shirtless video on Instagram, and, like, the caption was, like, "Late night sesh." Like, I would've made fun of someone too, for being honest. So I didn't, like, necessarily, like, set myself up for the, for the most success, but really was just a bunch of like I go to school and I played, obviously like played sports, would come home from practice and would like lock myself in my room and write songs and practice and it was always something that I came back to.
Mhm. At what point did you start playing like, at what point did you take guitar or songwriting more seriously than, like, than playing soccer? Because it sounded like soccer was a big part of your life.
I would say that college is when I definitely started not necessarily taking it more seriously, but like I wasn't playing sports. I didn't play sports in college, like for a college. So like
Mhm.
that was kind of that ended up being the full-time hobby. College is definitely where I started writing songs that were like worth listening to twice, is what I tell
Okay.
people. Like they were like, my family or friends would be like, hey, shoot us that. Like, we like that one, shoot us that one. We want to listen to it again.
Oh, okay.
Um,
So you were getting
yeah, and
validation from people you
I was
knew.
getting yeah, that's when people started saying, "Oh, this is good," and that's when I kind of started playing the fraternity sorority scene, right? Playing some different places in Tuscaloosa, playing on game days and stuff like that. So I definitely kind of like stepped into my own, I would say, in college.
Okay. And then from there, like, did you, I mean, obviously you're getting validation from people, but do you record something or like what's kind of the next move that you made from that point forward? I mean, obviously
Yeah,
you
so
built a career doing this.
my best friend JB, he actually I guess it was my junior year of college. Me and him went down to Daphne, Alabama, which is like right outside of Mobile,
Okay.
and we recorded some stuff. Recorded like 8 songs, and so that was kind of the first, you know, the first like where it felt like real. But it was just me and him went down there and recorded some stuff, and that was kind of the next step. But really, I mean, really until this past year, it's just been writing songs. Like I've just been writing songs and social media really helped and did its thing in the past year for me. So that's really what kind of jump started everything.
Okay. So yeah, tell me about that. So you put a song up, like tell me about how social media really like kind of catapulted you.
Yeah, so I was working a 9 to 5. I graduated from Bama and had been in sales for the past several years
Okay.
and was didn't have any social media for a while, and then I would say it was, like, summer of 2023.
Oh
I like
wow. That was way
yeah, I
way late. Yeah, okay.
yeah. So, I got on socials and just started kinda, like, posting. Like, really wasn't, like, trying to do anything. I didn't know how you made music a career, to be honest with you. I, like, just started posting me playing different songs that I wrote, like, all originals. Like, I never posted covers, it was just all original stuff, and someone from the industry found it and sent it to my manager at the time and she hit me up and was like, hey, like, do you have a manager? Do I've never seen you before, and we ended up hopping on some Zooms and things like that, and recorded some music November 23, and then we released my first single ever February 16th, 2024. So that's when the
Whoa.
first yeah, I had like 400 followers on Instagram, but the song ended up getting like 100,000 plays that first month. Like it ended up just kind of like taking off, and then I teased the song that got me to where I am, that I owe everything to, the song called Lily,
Yeah.
stands for Last I Love You, and I teased that on social media like 2 weeks before it came out. For the longest time, my manager had asked me to do, those like POV videos where you got your phone set up and you're in your car and you're like, whatever, it's like lip singing to
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
For the longest time, I was like, "Please do one of these, like, it'll do good, like, I promise," and I'm like, "Not a chance." I used to be, like, super social media shy. I was like, "That's just gonna give people ammo to, like, roast me, like, not a shot am I gonna do that," like, and I finally caved, and I was like, "Alright, fine," and of course, it's the video that went viral on Instagram and
Oh, wow.
jump started this whole thing. But yeah, so that went viral, and then when the song came out, it did really well, and then that's when I started taking all the meetings and had my last day at my 9 to 5. It was like May the 16th last year. So
Dang.
yeah,
Wow. Okay. Well,
insane.
I want to hear about like what was it like? You put this video out and then it goes viral. Like, tell me about that moment. Are you like, is it like happening right away? Are you? Because if it was me, I'd just be like, some junkie, just like keep scrolling and making it like watching the numbers go up. It's like, dopamine, dopamine. Is that what it was, or was it like, did you go to sleep, wake up in the morning, and it was like millions of views, or?
So I posted it on a Thursday night, and it's funny because I kept misspelling a word in the video, and I posted it and deleted it like 4 or 5 times. Like it took like an hour to like actually get the post up. By the time I finally posted it, it was like 9 p.m. on a Thursday,
Mhm.
and then I woke up next Saturday. I woke up that morning to a text from my manager that was like basically like, "Holy shit, you went from like 700 followers to 10,000."
Oh my gosh.
And I just like woke up and all of a sudden I had all these followers and had like all these views and all this stuff. And it was funny because it was just Instagram. Like my TikTok, I think at that point had 120 followers. But like my Instagram had just blown up.
Blown up.
And dude, it was just so cool because that song, I always tell people it's a song about discontentment. It's not necessarily something you want to like scream from the rooftops, like, "Hey, I'm Christian, I'm discontent," but it's real and it's raw and it's honest. And I think that's what music should be. And I think that's why that song took off is people heard it and they're like, "Oh wow, this is like the reaction we got from fans was just so incredible
Mhm.
of people just saying this song just helped me through my breakup or my divorce, or I've been trying to figure out like how to like articulate this and this song did it perfectly, or even like there's people that were like stitching it to videos of like, "This is my last I love you to alcohol, I've been sober for 2 years now,"
That's
and it was just
awesome. Yeah.
it's just like really cool, like song just spoke to people, and like that's the reason you do it, like
Mhm.
that song made me feel not alone, and then seeing that it made all these other people feel known and feel heard was just like really cool. So it was like I felt like a therapist though. Some of the DMs I was getting of like people very like very brutally sharing their life stories and situations they were
Sure.
going through, and like how the song helped. It really was I was like responding to these DMs like, "Oh my gosh." I feel like I'm not like
Like, qualified
prepared,
for it?
and like yeah, I feel like I'm not gonna tell you like, "Please don't follow my advice." Like this but man, it was special, and like it got me the team that I have, and I'm more than grateful, and like wouldn't change anything.
That's amazing, dude. Yeah, it's crazy to think like I've had other people on that have said like, the video that did it or the song is the one that they're like the most afraid to put out or because you're
Yeah,
the most vulnerable one and then that's what people usually resonate with and I think that's what the whole thing with TikTok and Reels or whatever it became such a big deal because it was so like personal in your face just like this person just talking to you like
totally.
and then it's just like all the guards are down but that's so crazy, man. That's awesome. So you wake up, you have 10,000 followers, you have all these views. And then to get people to leave Instagram, go to Spotify and stream the song 3 million plus times. I mean, that's another hurdle in itself, too.
Yeah, it was insane, dude. It was one of those things you're like, all right, we have all these followers, but let's see what actually happens release day,
Hmm.
right? And yeah, man, it took off. I mean, I know Apple Music doesn't like show it on the side, but it was at 1 million plays on Apple within like I think like 3 weeks.
Gee.
Like yeah, Apple, my streams on Apple are really good, and yeah, literally streamed like even more on Apple than it has on Spotify, and so it's so cool, it was so cool actually seeing the retention, and I feel like that's something that's been like really great about, and I'm like really appreciative to the fans is like they stay and then they bring
Right.
new people,
Hmm.
and being able to like have that retention so huge, and I think I've just been able to do that because I'm just honest with people, man. Like I'm still writing the same songs, and I'm still articulating the same, like these are real honest feelings, and like this is who I am, and I think people appreciate that, and I'm appreciative of them because without them I wouldn't be here. So it's been really special.
That's amazing. And then you obviously signed with Capitol Records, which is massive. I mean, you're on the same label
Amazing, yeah.
the Beatles were on. But I mean, tell me about like that. So the song goes viral, then you're taking meetings, and then you decide like that must have been a huge moment. And then I want to hear about you quitting your job because that had to be a big deal too.
Yeah, I actually got fired.
Okay.
They they found out that I was gonna go meet with record labels, and they, like, fired me, like, literally called me and fired me on the spot.
Really?
Yeah. So it was funny, like, the day
So you didn't
before.
go in and be like, all right, I'm done. Like they just called you and said, hey, you're done.
It was crazy, man. The day before, I was literally like sitting in my room and I was praying. I was like, all right, God, like close whatever door you need to close. Like make this evident. I was like, I'm way too emotional for this not to work out. So like, please, like either let this be a thing or like, slam the door in my face. And then the next day I got fired and I was like, oh shit. That wasn't
Like,
what I
well,
was
he slammed the
expecting.
door in
And
my
yeah,
face.
he slammed the door. And then, yeah, the very next day, I flew up to New York for my first ever label meeting, and golly, man, it was so surreal, and the meetings were incredible. Yeah, I met Capitol, and they just blew me away, and it immediately was one of those. I remember walking out of the building and just being like, yeah, that's it. That's where I want to be.
That's awesome. And did you put out that first EP with them, Last I Love You?
Yeah, so that was the first thing that we worked together. I first met with them, I think it was middle of May. We ended up officially signing everything. It was like July 19th. And
Okay.
then the EP came out in August. So, but they were like, man, it was so cool. Like when I sat down with them, they're like, hey, here's like what we want to do with you. Like, here's different marketing ideas and things like that. So when we officially signed, like they had already been working with me.
That's
And
rad.
so
Yeah, so you
like it
already had
was
a plan. It wasn't like, okay,
yeah,
now and you're just sitting there like, okay, I signed this deal, but now what? Like they already had
yeah.
like it laid out for you.
It was so cool, man. Like we were already like walking in tandem. So like the deal got signed and it was like nothing really changed. It was like, all right, sick, tomorrow's a new day, So
Sure.
it was really cool like working that first project and then, everything that we've done since then has been so special. And yeah, man, it's such a great team and such a like historic place to be at. It's just
Dude. Yeah, it's
so
crazy.
cool.
And so you signed that, you put the record out. Do you do a tour to support the EP?
I did like a small little like week-long run in Georgia, just back
Okay.
home. Kind of, like played in Atlanta, headlined a smaller festival down in Bainbridge, Georgia, played in Athens and then Charlotte. Kind of did the friends and family run, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Just kind of the back home run. And yeah, I mean, we just got like right back in the studio pretty much because was really working on like evolving the sound and getting it to like I'm really excited for this new stuff to come out because we've been working the past like golly 5 or so months on just like making sure the sound is exactly what we want it to be.
Okay, yeah, because you put out a couple songs now. I mean, Wildflower was, and then the new one, right? Through it all.
Yeah, yeah, Through It All just came out. Yeah.
Yeah,
Love that song. I wrote that with Jonah Kagan, and then he produced it, and that's kind of the first pendulum swing of like this new sound. So I'm like really excited for this new stuff to come out. And like that song is such a special song too.
do you write a lot in Nashville? Is that where you're doing your stuff?
I do both Nashville and LA.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I definitely I do both towns. I write with and even in Nashville, I mainly write with indie pop writers, and so it translates really well to LA writers. So definitely split time between the two places.
Right on. So yeah, it sounds like I mean, you probably had what most of that EP done before you even signed the deal, right? I mean, to put it
Yeah,
out that
yeah.
quick, right?
Yeah, we already had everything done. Like we were gonna release an EP regardless if
Uh huh.
I, signed
Simon.
somewhere or not. So it was already kind of like in the works. Just that way we could get, the more music out the better, right?
Sure. And then how quickly after that did you write Wildflower?
I'd written Wildflower, I think a year before I released it.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so that was already a song that we had. I wrote Through It All. I think me and Jonah wrote that. It was September, October last year.
Okay.
And then we just, spent the last couple months just trying to like really get the sound to where we wanted it to be. And then this next single that comes out in May, I wrote that in January. So now we're starting to get the new stuff starting to come out, like
Okay.
yeah, like the new rights and the new song. So I'm excited to for everyone to kind of see how things have evolved.
Yeah, man. I love Through It All. I think that's a rad record, and, that's
Appreciate it,
cool. So
man.
that's gonna be like yeah, that's kind of what the new stuff will sound similar to in a way.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, definitely that I've been drawing like a lot of inspiration from the new Shawn Mendes album. So like that's definitely like the sound that we're going for. That Noah Khan, that folk pop. So
Mhm.
that's definitely what it's gonna be like. So I'm super excited to get that out in the world.
Love it. Are you gonna just keep doing singles, or do you have another project, or
Yeah, we're gonna hammer singles the rest of this year. I just know people just want music, right?
Uh-huh.
And I want to get songs out selfishly because I love all of my songs and I want to release all of them. So, we're just gonna keep on releasing singles, and I mean it's going to roll into a project. We don't necessarily have like a date in mind for that yet.
Mhm.
We just want to give people as much music as we can, and then when it feels right, we'll
Put it
roll it
out.
into a project. Yeah.
I saw you played the Opry, didn't you, here in Nashville?
Yeah, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I did this February.
That how big of a moment was that for you?
It was special, man. It definitely was super super honored and humbled to do that for sure.
Are you playing anything? Do you have any other shows coming up?
I have a couple festival dates
Uh-huh.
this summer playing in Texas, Oregon, and then Oklahoma.
Okay.
Waiting to hear back, hopefully hopping on some opening slots the rest of this year. So definitely building the touring side out for sure. Wanted to make sure that we got the music right first
Yeah,
before we
100%.
before we hit the road, making sure that we're paired up with the right people and, made sure that was all falling in line.
Right on, man. Well, I love what you're up to, and, I appreciate you taking the time to chat with me today, dude. This has been great.
Yeah, dude, thanks for taking the time and listening to me yap. I appreciate it.
I do have one more question for you. I wanna know if you have any advice for aspiring artists.
Yeah, golly. Actually someone DM'd me last night and I was answering this question, and I think at the end of the day, just be you. I know that that's probably what everyone and their cousin is going to tell you, but I always used to think that you had to sound like someone to be someone.
Mhm.
But there's a reason that you're you, and there's a reason that we're all unique as people. And there's a million people that sound like Noah Khan. There's a million people that sound like Shawn Mendes, and it's like whoever it is, right? Like be uniquely you, and that cuts through the noise. And that's what I from all the meetings I took. That's what I got out of it. And just write the songs that you want to write. Don't chase the hits. I think that, Lily was a song that I literally wrote after a breakup, and I wrote it in like 15, 20 minutes. And it's the song that got me a record deal. And so be uniquely you, write the songs that you want to write, and write the songs that are real to you and are authentic, and never give up. Sky's the limit, man.
Bringing it backwards.